Welcome to Harvest, Crown Trace, Central, we reach. Why are we in Crown Trace, Central Trinidad? This does not look like an agricultural area. We have traffic, we have big walls, razor wire. We are here to meet Police Constable Adrian Seeley, who is running a community garden and goes by the title, The Urban Farmer. Let's go and see what this martial arts instructor and police constable has done to 10,000 square feet of land here on Harvest. We on. Yes, I! Adrian, like any good permaculture space, we have met the ladies. You have your chickens. Tell me about how many chickens you have and why you brought chickens into the site.
Yeah, at this present time we have 14 chickens, or as you say, 14 ladies. We are hoping in the near future to expand just about 30.
30?
Yeah, 30. Really and truly, as you mentioned, permaculture, we saw it as, chickens more or less adding life and adding value, to the garden, to the Serenity gardens,
right, Yes.
So that was really the thought process behind. However, as we got into probably about 4.5 months or so, we started to get some presents from these ladies, some eggs. And it's such wonderful eggs that at this present time, we are on a back order for probably about 3 weeks. Yeah, because the type of eggs that we produce is pasture-raised eggs.
Pasture-raised eggs?
Yes.
What's the difference between cage eggs, pasture-raised eggs, and free-range eggs? Where are you now?
Yeah, so essentially, when we look at cage-based eggs, or eggs that are produced from chickens that are in a cage, is one of the most, in my opinion, inhumane ways. These chickens are more or less utilized on a commercial scale for their egg production. But the thing about it now, they have little to no space to really move around freely, which is inhumane to the chicken, in my opinion. As it pertains to the free-range eggs, right? And persons tend to mix the free-range with the pasture-raised, right? But based on my understanding through my research, the free-range essentially means that here's what? The chicken has a free area where it can move around freely.
Right.
However, in the field, there isn't much berries, cherries, or anything to really attract the chicken to really come out into the field.
Right.
So they tend to stay within their chicken coop or within the chicken run and feed on the grains. The pasture-raised eggs now, as you would have heard in terms of pasture farming, be it dairy, sheep, as the case may be, is as the name says. So our chickens at Serenity Gardens, they feed freely from dry, from the grass to our mulberries, our cherries, to the 5-finger. And this is the beautiful thing about it. There is actually food on the pasture for the chickens to feed on.
So your chickens are coming out. We're gonna get to this beautiful structure in a minute. But your chickens are coming out. They have the free run. They're scratching, they're turning, right? The soil surface. How are you doing for pests? They're looking up your pests?
Yeah, definitely. So, as you would have mentioned, yeah, the chickens are actually working for us whilst producing. So it's
and
really
fertilizing the land.
They're fertilizing, and this is the thing about it really. The chickens, they feed on the produce, on the land, but they are also fertilizing, as I said. Light tillage, and in terms of the pests, excellent job. They are always active, they are always, on the go, and they are working for us.
You have African snail in the area?
Yeah, we definitely have some
African snail. You have any inside of here?
No, we don't have any.
That's your chickens?
I know, because just from the perimeter, you will see the shells. So
mealybug, grasshoppers, locusts.
These things are foreign to Serenity Gardens.
Them ladies taking care of all that?
They are working,
Tell me about this structure, why you went with this design, and how does this design benefit you and the girls themselves?
Yeah. So, traditionally, when it is that we think gardening, when we think farming, it's a concept where you're out on the field all day doing all the work. With the advent of the internet and also just connecting with our local resources, because contrary to popular belief, right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a wealth of knowledge in terms of personnels. And one organization I must mention, please forgive me if I don't get the pronunciation correct, but Wasamaki, they are doing an awesome job, right? So what we are doing right now in terms of the chicken run, and I'll explain the concept, is really creating a system whereby, by incorporating nature, right, it self-sustains and it feeds the chicken, and I'll explain. So for instance, the roof, it's at a slight gradient, and we capture the rainwater via the PVC gutting.
Right.
This goes into a tank, and the tank now has the automatic feeders, water outlets.
Right, yes.
Right, so we don't ever really have to put any water in there, right? The chickens, I know it's a lot. It's interesting, I know.
Dry season.
This is the beautiful thing about it, right?
So you're collecting enough rainwater in the rainy season to see your girls through for the dry season until rain come again.
Definitely. So, I mean, we have to admit there's climate change, so even sometimes in the dry season, we tend to get a little rain. You know, so we are always replenishing from that aspect, right? So going back onto the design now, what we thought, we knew that we didn't want to have the chickens just in a chicken coop, right?
So because I mean, I could park a tractor inside of here.
Definitely. In fact, you could spread let me see, a queen size bed and all too, and relax. Yeah. But nonetheless, what we did, especially when our ladies who are a bit younger, we need to keep them, you know, protect them from predators. Yeah. So we build the chicken coop with the solar lighting, with the water system in there as well. So they have water there. That's their hotel there, luxury, right? But nonetheless,
because plenty of people right now will be asking, well, why are you giving us chickens lights?
Yeah. So the thing about it, and again, this light is really on a timer system. Right? But really, when it is that you do the research in terms of the chicken, especially when they are younger, they like that warmth, right? And we sort it fit, you know, to give them a little luxury even as they grow older, because they are doing so much for the garden.
Better chickens, better eggs.
Yeah, once the chickens are happy, you understand, and that's it. We cannot, and this is why, I mean, again, in my humble opinion, I'm not a big fan of commercial type farming, because we are doing so much adverse effects long term to our environment. Many times for the focus of profit, dollars and cents.
So these hens are pasture raised. Most of the eggs we get in the grocery are from commercial outlets where a chicken has 1 square foot of space for itself.
Yes.
And is fed exclusively on grains. We know that directly affects or creates a big lack of flavor inside of an egg, right? So what percentage of your feed is grain for your animal?
Should be told, we do have the grain, but it's at their option.
Okay.
Right? So you find that in terms of a bag of feed, we tend to buy the 50 kg. That would last us roughly about a month and a half.
With 14 hens?
Yeah, with 14 hens. Sometimes even longer. Right? And again, this is directly related to what type of fruits is in stock. Because contrary to popular belief, the chickens are much more prefer the fresh fruits and vegetables in the garden.
They have food available to them right now? They have mash available to them
right now?
They
do have mash available to them right now.
And we have everybody outside eating from the ground?
Exactly.
Continue to tell me about why we went with this design.
Yeah, so as I was saying, when our ladies were a bit younger, we knew that we had to protect them, you know, from predators, right? So whilst they had the aspect in terms of the chicken coop, which was more than sufficient for them at that age, what we sought to do is actually create a chicken run, which will give them the option of more space to actually move about, you know.
And that is what a run is versus a coop.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, so it's really about more space. It's an enclosed space, yes. They can't be released intermittently, right?
So the chickens, first of all, have a run space outside of the coop.
Yes.
And then you now have this pasture experience here.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because, I mean, we need to be mindful at the same time. I'm not, lobbying for persons to invest in chicks and just have it out in the pasture. We have to be mindful that we have predators, be the chicken hawk, what have you. So we need to understand...
Chicken hawks, pipers, everything.
Well, yeah, so we need to be mindful, and this is the concept that we would have had at Serenity Gardens in terms of developing our chicken coop into the chicken runner. But one of the things I want to highlight about the chicken coop in particular, we took some anthropometrics into consideration.
Very good.
Which is more or less the measurement of man, and making, you know, the work as easy as possible and as safe as possible, more so where the body is concerned. So our chicken coop is more or less built at a height whereby it's easy for us to go and just remove the wood shavings into our barrow, and we will put that in our compost section.
So you built yourself an ergonomic chicken coop. Where you're not bending and flexing.
Yes. And this is important too in terms of agriculture, because we need to be mindful as much as we are looking at the health component and the environmental sustainability and all of these things. We need to be mindful of ourselves.
Of course, our bodies, our health, if we can't come outside to look after the chickens.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So even in terms of collecting the eggs, right? We don't need to go into the chicken run or even into the chicken coop to collect the eggs. We would have built it external. So our ladies, and even though they are pasture raised, and I want to touch on this, right? Chickens are so smart. Even though they are pasture raised, they would religiously leave from the pasture, go up their little step into their hotel, and they would lay their eggs in the nesting box.
So they're not nesting, they're not laying around any of the plants.
They are not. Right?
So they feel safe and they're very comfortable.
Yes. And when it's time for us, actually
not even once, boy. Not even once you find an egg by the fig tree or by
and
the...
I must admit, I found one once, but that was that rare occasion.
And you're talking about you've had these birds now for a year or something?
Yeah, roughly about 8-9 months.
Right, so one egg, we on the program, everybody going in the house and doing what they have to do.
Yeah, and I didn't have to correct that one lady. I guess the rest of ladies had a conversation with her and say, it's not so we operate in Serenity Garden, so...
The pecking order is a real thing.
Yeah, and they are disciplined, and I mean, probably before we end this segment, I will call them and they'll see how religiously they will come, you know, just by a little whistle.
Yeah.
But it's a distinct tone and pitch within the whistle.
Okay, yes. Yeah. I've been around chickens, so I've been able to experience some of the psychology, and they are very, very smart animals, and they work very well in a pack. As I said, the pecking order is very, very real. Any other aspects of this design you would like to speak about with us here today?
Yeah, definitely. So if it is that we're looking at the chicken coop, you'll notice that there's a little brace there, right?
Yes.
And that's where they go on to roost.
Right.
Notwithstanding that they have an external roost within the chicken run.
So they roost and they lay inside of the coop?
Yes. Right. As well as some of them, they would also roost outside.
Okay.
As I mentioned, pecking order, it have one in particular, she will go on top chicken coop.
That's the big boss?
That's the big boss.
Right.
You know, just looking around, making sure everything is, you know, in our order. So we did a lot of consideration in the development of the chicken coop, as well as the chicken run, and also in terms of the pasture, right? Because we really want to ensure that our layers, they are comfortable, right? They are at peace, and I think as you would have mentioned correctly, it really shows in the production of the eggs. When you actually, whether it's frying or boiling one of these eggs, the yolk is sort of a tangerine color.
Right, yes.
The albumin does
You're
not
into
run.
Your oranges rather than your wishy-washy yellows.
Yeah, so when I would have had it the first time, I was like, what was I eating all along? You know?
It is a big, big change to go from grocery egg or commercially farmed egg rather to either free range or
pasture raised. Yeah, it is. It is.
Stop the rising cost of food now. Grow your own food. Provide for your family and earn an income with Plant Doctor's Hydro Aqua of number 30 Matilda Road, Princestown. Grow safe, clean, and organic with your hydroponic supplies, organic potting soil, fertilizers, pesticides, and seeds. Let us help you grow and earn. Call 379-6710 or WhatsApp us at 372-9440. Plant Doctor's Hydro Aqua. Let's grow TNT together, one plant at a time.
Munich Home and Garden specializes in hardware, paint, home decor, tools, agricultural supplies, pet supplies, car accessories, appliances, and much more. Located at Val Park Shopping Plaza, Atlantic Plaza, Point Lisas, and Eastern Main Road, St. Joseph. Shopping comfort with our well-secured outlets. Call us at 663-5163 or visit the Munich Home and Garden Facebook page or www.munichtT.com. Munich Home and Garden, where we make shopping a fun experience. Calling all farmers, fishermen, and agri-entrepreneurs. The Agricultural Development Bank is offering its flagship product, the New Reality Loan. Get up to 80% financing for any viable business in agro-processing, agri-services, or farming with an effective interest rate of 3 to 5%. The New Reality Loan can assist with business startup, expansion, or product rehabilitation, working capital, debt consolidation, or for the purchase of new equipment. Visit one of our convenient locations in San Fernando, Chaguanas, Sangre Grande, Port of Spain, and Tobago. Come in and we'll make your dreams a reality with our new reality loan. Call toll-free 800-4ADB. That's 800-4232 or visit www.adbtt.com. The Agricultural Development Bank, growing stronger together.
Right, so long term, these chickens are designed to lay one egg every day for about 2 years, and then their production slows down.
Yes.
12 months down the line, what's happening with the ladies when they start to slow down? You're keeping them here to keep working the land, or you're gonna cycle out and bring in new chickens?
I'll be honest with you, after a while you tend to get a bun.
Right.
With the chickens. Initially, understanding the type that we have here, we knew that we would have gotten top performance or top production roughly about 2 years. Could it extend a little longer?
Yeah, push a little past the 2 years.
Yeah. So the thought was like, all right, well, we'll have some chicken for lunch, especially on a Sunday. But
there's a red meat chicken, you have to cook that hard, or no?
Yeah, but I don't think they will be seeing that aspect of it. So we'll definitely keep them, to keep working with the land. Okay. They are part of the garden. They would have contributed so much to the garden. Yeah, I don't think I have the heart to see them in a pot. I definitely will not be consumed with it.
Is there anything now in hindsight you would do differently with this piece?
Especially the run, I think what I would have done a bit differently, taken into consideration with the galvanized sheeting, I probably would have brought it out a little more at a slight angle.
A little bit of a overhang cover.
Yeah, because if you notice right now we have these plastic curtains right now, and that's again based on the wind direction. When rain is falling, the chicken coop tends to get wet.
Okay.
So that's the only thing. But other than that, no, because we right on top the galvanized sheeting, we have the solar panels, right? And it's really, as I say, being in tune with the environment, being in tune with nature, right? And we understand I'm not bashing electricity. It has been great for so many years. But generally, in terms of the burning of the fossil fuels and whatnot, we see the adverse effects it's having on the environment. So as little as we can, to be more environmentally conscious, we try. Even the lights in Serenity Gardens, they are all solar powered. Yeah? So generally, I wouldn't do anything other than what I would have mentioned with the design. It actually took us about 6 months of rigorous research, watching, researching, having different concepts, putting it to paper and saying like, nah, this won't work, that will, So even with the chicken coop, if you notice, it's roughly 1 foot off the ground.
Yes.
And we took into consideration more so rainy season. We wouldn't want the stakes to be on the ground. So a lot of thought went into it, and it has been working exceptionally well for us.
As they say in Jamaica, every mickle make a muckle. So every little part you can do to contribute and bring into the system, we're not fighting on the people electricity at all.
Exactly.
But you said something, and you've said it a couple of times throughout the day today. Where you did all this research, partner, you went to a big university and a teacher permaculture and a teacher about chicken and a teacher chicken pasture and run and where you did all this research?
Where there is a will, there is a way. One of the questions from a child I was really taught to ask myself, and I must give credit to this person because he was the father I didn't have. He's now passed away. It's my deceased martial arts instructor. He is also a pastor, Reverend Shehan Carlighton. And he said something many times to me growing up and also the other students of the martial arts club. And it goes at knowing what is available, how to receive it, and what to do with it when you receive it, right? He also spoke about when preparation meets opportunity lies success. So in the back of my head, I was like, we acquire the land, what can we do with the land? How can we make it work not just ourselves, but make it also work for the community whilst working for the environment? So once it is that I started to get my thought process there, I definitely involve my wife, we'll have little discussions and whatnot.
Yeah, because this is a family site. At first it is a family site. You, your wife, your son
and my nephew.
And your nephew.
Yeah.
Right.
This is where the idea really came from, and what we started to do now is more or less do research. And it's a simple saying, find persons who are where you would like to be, right? Seek counsel, from them.
Seek counsel, yeah.
Yeah, and most importantly, give credit where credit is due as well, because I didn't create this all alone, right? So as I would have mentioned, Wasamaki has been doing an exceptional job in Trinidad and Tobago, But in addition to that, I would have researched in terms of Bill Mollison, in terms
Right.
of the permaculture design, you know. So this is where I really got a lot of the ideas.
Apart from practical, speak to people who are doing things, you must have had a massive internet bill. Your YouTube must have gone out, right?
No,
you play button freeze, it pause.
Contrary to popular belief, even where we are standing right now in Serenity Gardens, this would have been just about a year and a half, to a year and 8 months to be exact in. Little, every day if you are consistent, it goes a long way. So in terms of the research, sometimes you research probably for about an hour a day, and you think, you analyze, you look at your environment because you need to take into consideration our climate and our environment.
Correct, right, yes.
And you go along the way. If it is that you are a perfectionist, I think you'll understand that perfection is not necessarily a destination, but it's a journey.
It's about progress.
It's
not
about
perfection.
progress,
Correct.
exactly. And even though we would have had certain shortcomings, initially, we didn't look at it as failures. We look at it from a perspective that, okay, if we want to get this desired result, we cannot necessarily do this to get that.
Right.
So what more can we do? So we had a positive state of mind, right? And always keep being persistent, and as well, and I cannot stress on it, being grateful and having gratitude for persons who would have hinted to you along the way and shared their concepts.
Yeah,
and this
man,
is,
respect to that.
yeah, and this is the beautiful thing I would have realized in terms of agriculture and persons who are environmentally aware and conscious. We understand that we cannot do it all. So we are not going to keep all the ideas and the suggestions to ourselves. We share, and in doing so, we also receive.
Of course, yeah.
And this is why I love the agriculture. This is why I love interacting with persons who are like-minded or even way ahead of me. I consider myself in my infancy where permaculture and even agriculture is concerned. But I had a great council of persons who are in it and they shared with me. And I am trying to do the same thing in my community as well. This community of enterprise, more specifically, Crown Trees.
You say you're young and you're green and you dance, but from what I see here, whether or not it's a commercial farm or a little space like this is something that we don't ever stop learning in.
Certainly.
So I would not say you're inexperienced in any way, shape at all, brother. Take me inside and show me the workings of this coop now.
Definitely, I was hoping that you would ask that. So
Thank you.
we are going into the chicken run, right? So this is the enclosure I would have mentioned when they were younger, when they were chicks. Excuse me, lady. Right? So, stepping right in, as you see, they have their stairs where they go into their chicken coop, right? At their convenience,
Yes.
And
Yeah, because your chickens right now, they have their coop here, or they could walk outside into the pasture.
yes, they have a lot of options, right? And this here is one of the places where they come and they actually roost.
Right.
I saw this idea, I can't remember the group on Facebook, but this was an idea I got from agricultural group. So we designed this like more 6 o'clock, half 6 they will come.
Yeah, when it starts to get dark.
Yes, yes.
And this is a very, very practical design. You get in about 2 birds on a perch.
These birds, they have their own personalities. So some of them, I guess probably in the mood, they will get 2. Sometimes they just get 1.
Okay.
So it's really based on their agreement and they work their stuff out. I don't get in that.
But I watching your birds, nobody have any feathers at the back missing, so I mean, it don't look like you have any bullying or anything going on. It looks like you have a very, very settled and comfortable flock.
No, they are definitely ambassadors for Serenity, right? And when you look at the word Serenity, it's a peace and a tranquility.
Right, yes,
So they live that. They live that.
gotcha.
Yes. One of the things I'm excited to show you as well, and as I mentioned, simple designs that we could utilize that can make our job so much easier. I would have mentioned they do have the access to the grains.
Yes.
And what we utilize is just like some 4-inch PVC fittings. On the 2 either ends, that's where they have the grain.
Right.
In the middle, I know
And
we
you
didn't.
have grains and oyster shell.
Oyster cells.
Right.
Yeah, so we just need as an addition for them if they so desire. And I would have mentioned in terms of capturing your rainwater. So this is the tank system that we have. I think they are excited. They really like you. They are vocal. Yeah. So they just capture the water and it runs right into the automatic feeders.
Right, okay.
So
Yes, yes.
without exaggerating, I would have to fill these probably once every 3 weeks, right? And if it is that you're familiar with the pigtail bucket, it will take probably about 3/4 of that to fill it.
Okay.
You understand?
Right,
So, and it ties right back into what I'm saying, because earlier we mentioned that we just buy a 50 kg bag. So if it is that you do the math, you actually see how long it lasts.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So, and in terms of water, there's no issues with the water. What we do, however, from time to time, you know, you'll have your little vitamins that you would like to give them. So the water in system inside the chicken coop, that's where we put the vitamins.
Right, okay.
You know, so it goes hand in hand with the production and also the general care of these chicken. I know you may not have seen it earlier, but this is what I'm saying. We built some little brace or stands ready, so the chicken, the steaks themselves will not be on the ground because again,
Yeah, we put it on risers.
Yeah,
So it's not sitting in any water that may come in.
Exactly. So that's why I say a lot of thought actually went into the development of this area you would have seen here.
Okay. So you've spoken to me about how this has been designed for not just the convenience and comfort of the birds, but the ease of the farmer,
Yes.
right? How are you getting your eggs?
Oh, I thought you wouldn't have asked. So every day you may not want to come into the chicken run,
Right.
you know. You don't want to disrupt the chickens if they are just relaxing. You know, so in terms of our air collection, right? What we had, and I'll show you from inside this area first. What we had, and this area can be controlled because there's a little flap there. So if it is that we want to block off the nesting area for whatever reason, we can easily do that, right? This is another one of the roosting station that they come and they relax. But for the air collection now, this is where we come. I didn't collect any eggs, so we should have quite a few eggs this morning.
Right? Oh, yes, man.
And here we go.
Yes,
so without
man.
actually coming into the chicken run, air collection right
So
here.
you don't have to enter their space at all.
No.
They're coming in here, they're doing their thing. You're laying they're laying in the mornings for you?
Yeah, in the mornings.
Right. So
in the
you
mornings.
come 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, most of the laying is finished, and you have everything right here.
Everything
waiting for
right
you
here.
at the flip of a lid.
Exactly. You know, and I think this morning we had a good production as per normal.
And just a sawdust bedding.
Yeah, that's a sawdust. We would have tried the straws that work really well,
Right.
but the sawdust was a bit more accessible.
Okay.
You know, and they tend to enjoy it a little more. So we are sticking with it at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is fabulous, man. This is
Yeah.
lovely. Adrian, thank you very, very much, brother.
You're welcome.
So we leave the community space of Serenity Gardens, and we have a big, big thank you to give to PC Adrian Seeley for sharing his bounty with us today on Harvest. Community, this is what it's all about, you know. A man has taken a risk. He could have put down apartments, but instead he has used his land and his time and the knowledge that he is learning on his own to share with his neighbors, to develop memories and time with his family and his community. We look forward to seeing what happens with the visit to the mayor that happened here last week, and to maybe see sites like this popping up not just across Chaguanas, not just across Central, but all throughout Trinidad and Tobago. I leave Serenity Gardens today with this beautiful piece of variegated thyme that will go into my garden, and I have nothing but love and thanks for all of the time, effort, patience and love that this man puts into his space, for himself, his family and his community. Remember, we all in this together. To my daughter, Daddy loves you, baby. Harvest, we out.